If we want to explain person, we have to look at acting. When we want to look at acting, we have to develop in the area of manifestation of the human person. There is no acting without our act of our decision. When we talk about human acting, we have to think about human freedom and act of decision. This decision is the starting point of our action.
Hello friends of Collegium Wojtylianum, my name is Karolina Besenic, and today I'm here with Professor Piotr Mazur from the Jesuit University in Kraków.
Hello.
Professor Mazur is a professor of philosophy and his specialization is anthropology. Professor, can you explain to me very quickly, for our viewers who might not know, what is anthropology?
Philosophy of man, of course.
That connects with our discussion today on Wojtyła, because today we have an interesting idea. Agere, sequitur, esse, which for everyone out there, including me who doesn't speak Latin, means action follows being. Being connects to the human person, yes?
Yes, it's a scholastic principle that means that action follows being. So the existence of something, of someone, in the case of man. So action is manifestation of the actors, yes? From the one side is the person who, or other being who act, and from the other side is acting.
I think like a major simplification could be a student studies.
Yes, but it is very important because action follows being, not before being. So if you think about action, you don't think, you are unable to think about anything. You have to think about someone who exists, and the other side is action.
Otherwise, you just have a book, and without the student, nobody can study this book, yeah?
Yes.
So, Mr. Professor, let's start with, probably it's a simple question, but at the same time, nothing in philosophy is simple. Who is a being?
In the case of reality, so everything that exists is a being.
For example?
For example, a man, a cup, a table is a being.
So it doesn't even have to be breathing, but it's still a being.
Yes.
Then we have action, and what do we understand as action?
It's very simple, but it's very difficult to find enough words to explain more in this time, because action is perfection of being, because it's able to do something, and some of being are able to do something, or some are unable to do. For example, things that not lived are unable to act, and this is the principle of action. This is the principle of perfection, that some of beings are able to act something.
So I can study, but the cup can't.
Yes.
Could we consider then, if a cup is holding coffee, is this an action or is this rather an effect of the being?
It's effect, but by a being, so we are able to act, so it is very important for us.
Just remember, guys, it's philosophy. Nothing is ever as simple as it seems. Perhaps we could say then that because we are philosophers, and now we're having a philosophical discussion, would we say that this is an effect of our being?
Yes, yes, of course.
We nailed it, guys. We've got this. Okay, so then we're going to go a step further into the main topic of interest for us, which is, where does this idea, action follows being, where does it come from?
This idea comes from scholastic philosophers, and it was very important for them. For example, Thomas Aquinas is used a lot of time, this term, this sentence in his philosophy.
And Karol Wojtyła, obviously being a philosopher, he had a deep background in philosophy, in the classics. He learned this idea. How did he develop it further?
The main work of Karol Wojtyła, the acting person, act and person, is explaining and using this sentence to the whole idea of this book, because there is no action without person. So this is the very important connection between those two worlds and two realities, because from the one side we have person who is an actor who is able to act, and on the other hand we have acting. So if we want to explain person, we have to look at acting, and when we want to look at acting, we have to develop in the area of in the understanding, on the vision of the manifestation of the human person.
So we can understand then that acting is closely connected to who we are as people. We act because we are people, and the actions occur because people did them.
Every being is acting because they are existing. So realistic beings are able to act. So in the case of man, it is very important that acting is a manifestation of human freedom, because when we act, this is previous, it is based on our decision. And before we act, we have to take a decision, and this decision is the starting point of our action. There is no acting without act of our decision. So when we talk about human acting, we have to think about human freedom and act of decision.
I think we're going to pull it to a close there and leave with the idea that action is a manifestation of human freedom. This is absolutely an incredible thought, Professor, and I think we'll be developing it in the weeks to come. Thank you so much for joining me today, Professor Mazur.
Thank you.
Thank you guys, and see you next week on Collegium Wojtylianum.